Hello everyone, I am Jagdish Patel, Assistant Professor, Sandeep Foundation, Nasik. The name of subject is Broadband Communication System. This is Unit 1, Light Wave System Components. And today this one is lecture number 1 in which we are going to see Introduction to Broadband Communication System. I am having 12 years of teaching experience, specialization in digital communication. Telecommunications. So what is telecom? So tele for far plus communication means to communicate or to send the data between the two users. Earlier communication were smoke signal and drums. Visual telephony in 1972 or 1792. Telegraph and telephone were the communication devices in the era of 1839 and 1876. After that it comes radio and television, and after that it comes telephony, that is voice and data. So these were the generations and the years used for the communication between the two users. These were the techniques. Now communications and networks. Data communications, in which transmission of signal such as encoding, interferencing, signal integrating, multiplexing, etc. And in networking, topologies and architectures used to interconnect devices. And network of communication system. These are nothing but the communications and the network used for transmission of the signal. In data communication and networking, we are using encoding system and decoding system for the transmission of the signal on the communication channel. But for networking, we are using topologies. There are different topologies. We are going to see one by one in next slides. And their architectures used for interconnecting the devices. So network trends in 1980s present microcontroller, networking and wireless, which are interconnected to each other to form a complete network. In controller, we are controlling the devices. In networking, we are interconnecting the devices. And wireless is the medium in which we are transmitting the information. So these combinedly three forms the network trends. See here, this one is integrated systems, right? Here voice, image, data and video can be transmitted. So the communication system process describing transferring of the information, data and instruction between one or more systems through some media. Examples: people, computer, cell phone, etc. are used for the communication or sending the information. Computer communication system. Signal passing through the communication channel can be digital or analog. It can be digital or analog. Analog signal, it is continuously electrical waves. And where digital signal, individual electrical pulse, which in the form of bits. It may be transmitted in the form of 0 and 1. Receiver and transmitter, such as desktop computers, mainframe computers, etc. can be used as a communication devices in the communication system. If you observe here this one is a communication channel, here this one is a communication channel, and here this one is communication media, this one is adapter, and here the information is coding and receiving to the user end. Now see here, it will describe the live examples we are using day-to-day life. We are using computers. Here the signal, which is in the form of digital signal. Digital signal will be in the form of ones and zeros. Will be transmitted over communication channel. This one is a modem, which is used to do multiplexing of the signals before transmitting to telephone line. This one is telephone line. Now here, this one is another modem on the receiver side, in which we are going to make the demultiplexing of the signal. We are applying the modulation techniques, and the digital signal will be given to the computer. In this way, the communication takes place between the two devices. Now here below that there is analog signal, which is in the form of continuous signal. Now communication components. Basic components of communication systems are communication technologies, communication devices, communication channels, and communication softwares. Which are used to do the communication between the two different users. If you observe here, these are the communication devices. This one is a satellite which are used to do the communication, which is acting as a medium. These are the devices which are interconnected to each other, mobile phones, computers, etc. can be used to do the communications. To transfer the signals, we are using antennas. Now, a communication model consists of source system, such as source, after that transmitter, which source are nothing but there are different sources, such as mobile phone, computer are nothing but the sources through which we are transmitting with the data is generated. Transmitter used to transmit the data. Transmission system is nothing but it is a channel on which the transmission takes place. On the destination side, there is the receiver which receives the information, convert it into the proper format. And in destination, there is a user, end user. And the example is this one is generalized block diagram. Now the example is given below. It consists of workstation which is act as a source. Modem act as a transmitter. Transmission system is nothing but public telephone network through which the communication takes place. Here there is a modem which receives the signal, convert it into the proper format, and it is given to the server or the user. So in this way, the communication takes place. Here there is a detail. Source consists of text, information, input information. After that, second block is second is nothing but input data in the form of digital bit stream are passing through the transmitter. Transmitter convert that signal into the analog form. After that, transmit signal to the transmission system. After that, the transmission system carries the information in the form of analog signal. Receiver will receive the signal, which will convert it into the digital format, and finally it is given to the destination, and from destination it is given to the end user. So in this way, the communication will take place using the broadband channels, or there are different types of channels. These are the applications, communication technology applications, where the large number of communication take place, such as voicemail, Twitter, email, instant messaging, chat room, news group, telephony, video conferencing, collaboration, groupware, global positioning system, GPS. So these are the major technologies used for doing the communications, as we are using number of for our daily communications between the two users. Email, Twitter, instant messaging, video conferencing, telephony, these are nothing but the day by day every person is using this technology for the communication between the two users. So these are the applications. Continuing with the same one, communication technology applications. The different technology allowing us to communicate. Example is voicemail, fax, email, instant messaging, chat room, news group, telephony, GPS, and more. Voicemail, similar to the answering machines, between digitized. Fax, sending a hard copy of text or photograph between the computers using fax modem. Email, electronic mail, sending text, files, images between the different computer network. Must have email software. More than 1.3 billion people sends 244 billion message monthly. So this one is a survey. Chat rooms allow communication in real time when connected to internet. Telephony, talking to other people over internet, also called as VoIP, voice over internet protocol, sends digitized audio signal over internet, requires internet telephony softwares. Groupware, software applicable allowing a group of people to communicate with each others. Exchanging of data, information, such as address book, appointment book, schedule, etc. GPS consists of receiver connected to satellite system. Determining the geographical location of the receiver. Used for cars, advertising, hacking, tracking, etc. So these are nothing but the different applications where we are using our communication channels, communication technologies in day-to-day life. These are the communication devices. Any type of hardware capable of transmitting data, instructions, and informations between the devices. Functioning as a receiver, transmitter, adapter, converter are the devices. Basic characteristics: how fast, how far, how much data can be transmitted. Examples: dial-up modem, ISDN, DSL modems, network interface cards, etc. Dial-up modems use standard phone lines, convert digital information into analog, consist of modulators and demodulators, can be external, internal or wireless. ISDN and DSL modem allows digital communication between networks and computers, requires a digital modem. Digital is better than analog. Why? Because digital signal are more secure than analog. That's why analog digital is better than analog. After that, there is a cable modem, a modem that transmits and receives data over a cable television (CATV) network, also called broadband modems, carrying multiple signals. The incoming signal is spilled, requires a cable modem. Network interface card (NIC), adapter cards residing in a computer to transmit and receive data over the internet. Operates with different network technologies, that is Ethernet. Communication software, examples of applications: Layer 7, taken advantage of transport, Layer 4, service of TCP and UDP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, a client and server applications that uses TCP for transport to retrieve HTML pages. DNS, Name Service, a name to address translation application that uses both TCP and UDP transfer. Telenet, a virtual terminal applications that uses TCP for transport. FTP, a file transfer applications that uses TCP for transport. TFTP, Travel File Transfer Protocol, a file transfer applications that uses UDP for transport. NTP, and applications that synchronize time with some time source and users UDP transport are called as network transport protocol, network time protocol, NTP. Border gateway protocol, BGP, and exterior gateway routing protocol that uses TCP for transport. BGP is used to exchange routing information for the internet and is the protocol used between service provider. Communication channel. A channel is a path between two communication devices. Channel capacity. How much data can be passed through the channel, bit per second, also called channel bandwidth. The smaller the pipe, the slower data transfer. Consists of one or more transmission media, material carrying the signal. It is of two types: physical, that is wire cable, and wireless, that is air. Here in the diagram you can see the communication channel between the two antennas. It acts as a communication devices. Physical transmission media, a tangential media, example twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optics cable, etc. Twisted pair cable, one or more twisted wire bundled together, made up of copper. Coaxial cable consists of single copper wire surrounded by three layers of insulating and metal material, typically used for cable TV. Fiber optics, strands of glass or plastic used to transmit light. Very high capacitive, low noise, smaller size, less suitable to natural disturbances. So that's why optical fiber stands very good as compared to other cables, because it transmits the light which carries the information which is secure, having low noise and maximum grading. So here we can observe this one is insulating material, here this one is copper wire, here this one is twisted pair cable, and here this one is optical fiber cable having a glass coating inside. Here this one is a glass coating, this one is optical fiber, and this one is protective cover, and in this way it is more secure than the other cables. Wireless transmission media, there is broadcast radio, distribute signals through the air over long distance. Uses an antenna, typically for stationary locations, can be short range. Cellular radio, a form of broadcasting radio used for mobile communication. Higher frequency radio waves to transmit voice or data. Utilize frequency and it can be reused again. Microwaves, radio waves providing high speed transmission. They are point to point, can't be obstructed. Used for satellite communication. Infrared IR, wireless transmission media that sends signal using infrared light waves, such as we have seen. Example is TV. In TV, where using remote control, right? So that is nothing but what? That is infrared transmitter and receiver used in remote and television. That's why the signal is the channel is changing. So in this way, we have seen, to summarize the today's lecture, we have seen the block diagram of communication system, the different components of communication system, different channels used for communication between the two users. There are different technologies used for communication. After that, there are different applications we are using day-to-day life. And at the end, we have seen the three different media channels which are used to carry the information, that is coaxial cable, twisted pair cable, and optical fiber cable. But the optical fiber stands very good as compared to others for carrying the information which is secured and having low noise. Thank you.